Okay, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I have been away on vacation for quite a while. So if I don't remember how to do things, I don't know. I'm sorry. Oops. I'm slightly incompetent. Oh well. Okay, so today we're finally going to start making a game I want to make. And I gotta figure out how to organize this. Okay, so we have paint open to just draw some ideas, just general sketching, storyboarding. Okay, hold on. We have Chrome with some what even 2 documents. 2 documents. Also, you guys can see my bookmarks. Is that a problem? No, it's just a bunch of boring shit. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then Firefox is also supposed to come up, but he's not. What's your deal, Firefox? What's your problem? Go to properties. Oh, is it because I minimized the window? Yeah, what a chud. Okay, yeah, okay. So we're gonna make a game in the Godot engine, which I know nothing about. And I will figure things out about it in future, not today. I did some research about what game engine to use. We're choosing Godot because it's open source. Oh boy, I think it's pronounced Godot. It looks like it, like Godod. Oh, you guys can't see my cursor. Gotta fix that. What a scrub. Uh-oh. Capture cursor is chosen. Is it just tiny? Is it just oh, I wasn't actively in the window. Okay. I guess that's a problem. Okay, so Godot's the name of the engine. It's open source. I don't know. It also has a powerful 2D engine that's designed in a way that is supposed to be easy to understand. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make a simple 2D game. It's going to be like isometric. You know, it's going to look like fucking, what's that one thing? What's that one game? Pokemon Conquest? I want the combat to look like that. That's a terrible, this is an okay picture. You know, isometric, add an angle. Hey there, Glover. Open source. Yes, it is. It is open source. Godot should be good enough just to do something simple like this. I don't have any special ideas. Is it a vision document stream? I guess so. Yeah, sure. I'm like, I was gonna call it like brainstorming, but yeah, sure. I'm like outlining my vision for what the game is. It's gonna be hard to avoid. I want to do a lot of things, and I don't feel like I can. Want to keep it small, simple. General idea so far. I think maybe we'll get let's see. Where's Chrome? Do that. Okay. No, we want just the Google Doc. Okay. So let's type some things out. Okay, so far the name of the game is either going to be Stygian Scribe because that sounds cool. Or Midnight Scribe. Oh, I should probably just put like name. House, that's small. Let's zoom in. Let's do that. Great. Okay. So the name's not really important. Be like the general story concept. Let's see. How do I? Oh my God! You spend so much time thinking about some weird idea, and then it's hard to actually convey the idea. Okay, so you are a scribe. You are a scribe. Have special powers to bond with creatures and record information about them. And actually, I think that's good enough. So the backstory is intentionally vague. I could get into the minutia of it. I have written out a document about it. But basically, for story reasons, a medieval fantasy world. Oh my god, how do you spell medieval? It'll handle it. Oh my god, that's not how you spell it. I think it's M-E-D, right? Yeah, it's medieval. A medieval fantasy world with magic has been, let's go with violently, combined with our world. Actually, a future version. A retro future version of our world? Sure. So the creatures in the game, it's gonna be kind of like Pokemon. The creatures that you will bond with and use to make your weapons and armor, and also just use as units to fight along with you, are a like mashup of fantasy creatures, and then also creatures with like connections to our world, like silly things like technology mixed in with fantasy beasts. Hey, Cheese. What's up? I don't really know what's up. I'm still in vacation mode, but today is the day I had set out to start working on a game, so I guess that's what I'm doing. Also, I feel like most important thing at the top should be like what is inspiring this game. So definitely Pokemon. I think I'm just gonna put tactics games in general. Final Fantasy Tactics, Brain, Baldur's Gate 3, Divinity Original Sin. Definitely Pokemon Conquest. What's up? North probably? Okay, but actually, like, up is toward the sky. North is a direction along the globe. There's some cool maps of, like, ancient Muslim maps have, like, south at the top. So, you know, if you're using that map, south would be up. Just, you know, fun history facts. Okay, so what else is gonna inspire this game? Definitely Slay the Spire. I want this game to combine, I want to use a rogue-like system where you will restart regularly to try different things. What I'm thinking is that the game itself will have a campaign that is constant and built upon, but then you will regularly like do little like roguelike challenges where you start over from nothing and you like build a team for whatever the run is you're doing. Like you might be able to look at the challenges you're facing and like decide like, okay, I need to build a team that is good with that is good against like grass types and ice types or dragon types. And then when you beat that, you will get to extract value. Like you get to take out certain things from that run. Like maybe one of the Pokemon, I need a new name. I can't call them Pokemon. You get to like take them out of that run and then use them in your actual campaign, along with like some gear and some currency or whatever. I was nerding out over your stupid jokes. Yeah. I just any time you can share a fun fact, it's worth it, you know? I think so. It might not be that fun of a fact. I think it's interesting. Hold on, let me see if I can find a picture of it. Map with south as top of map? I don't even, okay. So, hold on, how do I do this? I need to get good at it. There we go, okay. So it's apparently just called a south up map orientation. But is there, yeah, okay, cool. So here's a cool old map that does that. Looks pretty cool. 1154. Cool. What even is this? One of the most advanced maps of the pre-modern world. I can't even tell what it is. Interesting. Anyway, it's fucking cool. Hey, GRT. I, of all people, know you have a history of nerding out for sure. I feel like now at this point everybody does. The internet has too many things. Everybody's got something that makes them get excited just to learn stupid shit about. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm still in vacation mode. I've completely forgotten how to stream, but we're gonna try to make it work. I don't know. All right, so I need to minimize that so I can read what I'm doing. Okay, so the inspirations for this game are going to be Pokemon plus tactics games plus Slay the Spire. Anything else? Oh, definitely Sea of Stars. There are some combat systems from Sea of Stars that I really like. Definitely. Did I have a vacation? Yeah, it was Thanksgiving in the United States. I went and saw family and ate too much food. And it was a good time. It was a good time. Hey, Teamworm. Jeez, you can talk. You're fine. You're fine. We don't need to deal with the talking stick. Was there turkey? Yes, there was turkey, definitely. There was turkey and ham. It was a weird kind of turkey. We went to my partner's sister's house. And her partner, their family is all kinds of Hispanic. Somebody made like an El Salvadoran turkey. It was very good. It was very good. Oh, Team Worm, you're on the road. Oh my, yeah, Twitch Mobile usually sucks. And then combine that with like spotty cell coverage across the United States. Good luck, man. Is it also with Christmas turkey? Well, okay, Christmas is usually ham. I think like traditionally, at least as far as most of the people I talk to in the United States, like turkey for Thanksgiving, ham for Christmas, but like really you can do anything you want. It's just like hang out, be thankful for having food and family and eat whatever the hell you want. How about mongrels? Oh, instead of the name Pokemon, maybe. I was honestly thinking, the idea with them would be that they're, they're like parasites because they like, the goal is to have them not just be creatures that can battle, but also you can use them, like to be your armor or your weapons. And you can like bond with them to use their abilities. So like you as a character will have a short list of abilities that you have gotten by like capturing a Pokemon and then like only using it for one of its abilities. So then I was thinking of calling them, my God, what is the term? It's like symbiont or symbiote. You know, the fucking Spider-Man shit. Which Spider-Man, I feel like, uses the word wrong. Usually a symbiote is something that's like beneficial. It's like Venom is called a symbiote, but like he's not really beneficial. He makes you stronger, but he also makes you like murder people. That's probably not a good idea. But for now, I think that may be what I'm going to call them. Wait, cheese, what? Some birds travel to the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu? What? The first Thanksgiving was, so it's told, a bunch of pilgrims and some Native Americans. They traveled back to the first Thanksgiving to get turkey off the menu. I mean, I don't eat meat a whole lot. I would be absolutely fine with never eating meat again, so I would be okay with that. We should probably not eat animals. We don't need to. The benefit goes both ways. Yeah, usually with symbiotes, that's the idea. Otherwise, they're like a parasite. What I meant to express is that Venom he gives you some benefits that are incredibly valuable, but he also gives you some huge drawbacks. And I don't know if you would just outright call him a symbiote. Oh, it's also like kind of against your will. Usually a symbiotic relationship, there's like people, they're okay with it. Like the cute little fish that like clean sharks. Like both sides are okay with it. But yeah, so in my game, everyone will be okay with it. you will have to convince the Pokemon to bond with you, and they will want to bond with you if you prove that you're worth bonding with. I don't know. Like, you got to defeat them in combat or whatever. It's strange thinking that people eat turkey with Christmas in the USA because of Christmas movies. I don't know, that is a little bit odd. I think the Christmas movies would have people eating turkey because people already ate it, I would think. I don't know. Having drawbacks is a great thing. That is an interesting idea. I might explore that. I do want there to be balance to it, but I do want it to be the thing I dislike about general Pokemon is that you're like forcing the Pokemon to fight, and a lot of them seem to like it. And some Pokemon don't fight. They just kind of hang out, like in Sun and Moon. Your mom has a Meowth, and Meowth just hangs around the house. Like, that's fine. I want the creatures in my game to like they want to fight. They're itching to battle, and they will only join you if they want to fight. What's the plot of the game? I am slowly getting to that. Let me just I need a little thing up here. Names for my Pokemon. So if we scroll down, so the story for now will be intentionally vague because I want it to be loose as I'm constructing the world, and then I can like hammer it in. But so basically, there are four reasons that will slowly be explained. A medieval fantasy world with magic has been violently combined with a retro future version of our world. And the setting for the actual game, this will be damn. These are all just ideas that have been floating around in my head. So the game takes place in a like sort of dream world. So the creatures, the Pokemon replacements, the symbiotes will be they're like inspired by people's dreams. So they don't have to be fully rational or sensible. Which I feel like Pokemon is already like that. Like, how would a monster that's like trash, like there's a Pokemon that's like trash, how would it exist? It wouldn't make sense unless it was part of like a weird dream world. Connecting with monsters without consent may cause feral abominations. That's kind of a cool idea. That's kind of cool. Steven Universe / Digimon. I've seen an episode or two of Steven Universe. I've seen a few seasons of Digimon. But yeah, so I guess it's sort of like Digimon, where it's like a digital world. Maybe like a dream / digital. Nope, I can't type. And I have thought quite a lot about why this world would exist, which maybe I should type out. Maybe I should include that in backstory. Okay, so is this the black and white sad music, or was that the previous track, black and white sad music? What if the villain discovered that forced union made the creatures stronger? You try to stop them, and then at the end of the game, the villain turns into an eldritch abomination amalgam. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, I will put that somewhere. Let's see, just like villain plot. Be like forcing symbiotes to fight makes them stronger. And so what, you have to overcome them with friendship and love. It was the previous song. Okay. Oh, and Digimon Frontier. Kids are transforming into legendary Pokemon. Interesting. Well, I guess they would be transforming into Digimon, right? Because it's Digimon. Okay, also this. But how did I even... Let's just... Okay, so... Let me try to outline the actual backstory as quickly as possible. I think I actually want to fill this out. Okay, so... So in Earth's future... Humans live on all the planets in the solar system. And... Like the... Okay, so there's humans all over our solar system, right? All the moons, all the planets. There's lots of fun, futuristic science stuff. But also some shady scientists doing shady stuff. And some of those shady scientists, maybe unintentionally, rip open like a portal to a different part of the universe. Actually, let's just go with a different universe, right? A different universe. But then, so they use that. They use the portal. Actually, no, they make more of these portals for easy travel, right? So like Earth is using, we use these crazy portals that are like a rip into a different reality, but like somehow it helps us travel faster, right? And then something goes wrong, and the portals explode, and they essentially like destroy civilization. So this is like it's like going to be like a post-apocalypse setting. Oh my God, I can't even. Thank you, Google. But the way that the world gets destroyed is that it gets our planets get combined with another world, another planet that is like medieval fantasy. I don't know how I can concisely express that. Imagine if you could choose your starting planet and it's like choosing a starter before the planets merge. Oh, that would be interesting. What I want to do is, I was saying earlier, I want to have like a main campaign, and then you'll do like a like kind of a separate little campaign where you start over and choose like a new maybe starting Pokemon or a few, and then complete like a little challenge, and then you'll be able to take like some of the things. Oh boy, you take some of the things that you've earned out of that and back into the main campaign. So it wouldn't be like New Game Plus. It would be like something you're constantly doing, like kind of to replace. What I want to do is replace the idea of like grinding in Pokemon. Like essentially, sure, maybe like a dungeon, but the specific idea would be that you start over. You're going into a new place, like a new reality or something. So you have just yourself, and you have to start over completely. But the pace of the game is accelerated on purpose so that you can like quickly overcome a challenge. Yeah, the idea of it will be like a dreamscape or like a different. I will get to it, but there will be a reason that there are like dream worlds that are realistic. They're kind of like the way in Digimon, there's like the digital world, but you know, it's like real. It's not just a bunch of zeros and ones that make up a video game. It's like a world you can go into and touch stuff and feel things, and if you die in it, you die for real. I guess the Matrix would probably be a better description at that point. So yeah, I want to have like a main campaign, and then separately these challenges you go do. Some of them very specifically curated, but then some of them you'll be able to kind of like randomize and control things that happen in them to kind of like make them easier or harder for greater rewards. And then when you complete them, you will be able to come back to your main campaign and take some of the things you've earned, maybe like one or two of the creatures that you captured, and bring them back. And then also like a bunch of like resources, like kind of like if you could get a bunch of rare candies, so that way you could do something in Pokemon that's not a bunch of mindless grinding. It's a fun challenge, and then the reward for that is that you can level up a Pokemon you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. You wouldn't be able to use. You could make a Coliseum. I feel like there will be something like an arena or a Coliseum for battling for sure. Horizon Zero Dawn situation. Damn, I don't know the Horizon Zero Dawn story. I know Aloy finds like a futuristic. She finds like a little thing she puts on her fucking ear, right? And then that lets her see stuff that other people can't see. She's got like cool augmented reality vision that lets her know stuff. That's all I know about the Horizon Zero Dawn story. Oh, sure, yeah, then there are dinosaurs and machines, yeah. There are dinosaurs that are machines, right? But weren't the dinosaurs were like... The machine dinosaurs were part of a system made to like fix the world or something. I feel like I've picked up that at some point. Maybe. I don't really know. Spoilers. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I've watched people stream various parts of it, but the game's never really grabbed me for some reason. I don't know. Okay, so we have future Earth, future humans using a cool portal system to travel around, but then like in pursuit of making better portals or finding more resources or new technology, something goes wrong. Something goes wrong. Portals explode. Nope, not Control V. There we go. The portals explode. But when the portals explode, they not only just like they don't just destroy Earth and all the planets in our solar system. It like violently rips part of another world into our world. And then, of course, that world has magic. I will get into that magic system. There's magic and gods and demigods. And I need a good term for the combining of the world, but the goal here is to have like a strange mix of environments that you travel through that have like old fantasy feelings to them, and then also like cool, weird new technology feelings in them, like a very weird mashup of sci-fi and fantasy, essentially. You initially thought of Legends of Arceus, where the protagonist is from the future. Oh, the protagonist is from the future in the Pokemon Legends game. Oh wait, no, it's just one game, right? I didn't realize that. I watched the beginning where you get like Arceus gives you a phone, and that was weird. But yeah, I don't know about mixed on a quantum level. I want like I want you to very clearly see like, oh, this area is like fantasy, and then this area is weird future technology, and then they sort of mix together in between. Some kind of like so like not on an atomic level, not like small, like big. You will see these weird worlds and how they have been like squished and ripped together and mixed in weird ways. Everyone's gangster until the villain splits an atom. What? Yeah, I think the idea is they did whatever they did. It was maybe an accident, maybe not. You know, there will be time to get into that backstory at some point, but it should be mysterious for now. What about the fusion? What about the fusion? Like fusion technology? So the Witcher series is a great conjunction. Like of worlds, I have played through the first 2 Witcher games completely, and then the beginning of the 3rd one. And I did all the side quests in the first chapter of the 3rd one and got I was way too strong. And so I just decided to start over again. But, oh, as a title for the mix of the 2 worlds. Okay, I think for now that would be good. Okay, let's change the rips into fuses. Just bold that. Okay, so the portal explosion violently fuses part of another world into our world. That other world has magic and gods and demigods. The Great Patchwork, oh my god. Oh, humans come from a different world in the Witcher series. That's kind of cool. Maybe they did it because the player threw a bagel at the scientist. Oh my god. No. What I want the idea of the game to be is you as a player come from outside of the world. There's this interesting running theme in Destiny, the one of the games I play a lot of, the lore in the universe that explains why you are so powerful, is because you being a player of a video game is sort of part of the plot, that you have the ability to act from outside of the Destiny universe. Also, I'm so not centered. There we go. That's better. So I like the idea of the player being like an outside agent, being asked to kind of come in and like put things back together, please. And the idea being like, hey, do you want to go on a cool adventure? Do you want some cool challenges? Do you want some puzzles to solve? Like, great, I need you to fucking save the world, and you'll get a cool adventure and some cool challenges and things, and then you can help me save the world. Great alloying. Like alloy like a combination of multiple metals. That's an interesting idea. I want it to sound violent. I want it to sound like catastrophic. The fusion is a good term for now. I think violent fusion is a good term, but maybe maybe there's a better term for that. I don't have an amazing vocabulary, so we'll have to search for one. What if the player is an otherworldly force that possesses the protagonist, who struggles from the fact that their identity was stolen? And everyone comments on how different they are, but no one cares enough to notice something is wrong. And every once in a while, the protagonist breaks free. Oh my god. You're getting a lawsuit from Toby Fox. Is that like part of shit? Is he the one that did Undertale? The Symbiosis wiki page is not particularly inspiring. Thanks for browsing it. Yeah, I'll it's gonna take time to build all the verbiage around this, and like this is the kind of shit I can think about when I'm like falling asleep at night. I want to get this all outlined so that I can figure out like, I think the next stream is going to be me trying to build the combat engine. Like, I think I need to, we're going to get like the basics down of what the story is, some of the ideas about how I want the systems to work, and then I want to get combat working as soon as possible, because I feel like combat is the thing I want to do the most. So I think it'll be the best way to get into the game. Like, I want Pokemon combat, but I want spacing and positioning to matter. I want to be able to like if there's a pool of water, I want to be able to like flamethrower the pool of water to make steam, or like like cast ice beam on the ground to like make a bunch of ice that like blocks creatures that can't fly from coming to you, and they've got to like destroy the ice before they get to you. Like that's a fucking, I gotta have that. I need to have that, and no one's making that, so I need to have that. That's the main driving point behind this. The thing you said was one of the main plot points of Deltarune. Damn it, don't fucking spoil it, Cheese. I want to play both Undertale and Deltarune. But, you know, I assume I would realize that. It's okay. I'm not really mad. But, you know, just be careful with the Deltarune and Undertale spoilers. I was thinking of something like that, where like the result of this world being violently destroyed and combined has led to a protagonist who is like depressed and like won't act, and the force that brings you into the world is like, okay, I need you to like be their like guiding force. You need to like push them on because they want to help the world, but they're just like shut down. And so then you sort of take over their body, but you're not allowed to do anything they wouldn't do, right? Like in a Pokemon game, you can't go like spit on people or something. Like your actions are limited in a very narrow way. And I feel like an explanation for that could be that like you've taken over someone's body and you can't make them do things that they would not do. So like they want to go and save the world, they just don't have the courage to do it. So like you have to do that. And maybe you help push them one way or another, like how they're gonna do it. Like Mass Effect has like Paragon and Renegade. You can either be like a goody two shoes, or you can kind of step on some toes to get things done. And maybe you, as you like feel out the character who you are possessing, essentially, you can kind of push them one way or the other. But you forgot I planned to play it. That's okay. Okay, that's okay. No one's making that. Isn't that the main gimmick of Genshin? Genshin does have it does have some cool stuff like that. You can't actually like, well, first of all, Genshin is an action game. But Genshin does have a lot of like the like arcadey feeling that I want. Like Genshin's kind of ridiculous. You like hit a guy with a little bit of water, and then you hit him with a little bit of ice, and boom, he's frozen solid. And then you can like hit him with fire to melt him, or you can hit him with a heavy weapon to like shatter him. That kind of shit is really cool and is at least part of the inspiration of what I want. But as far as I know in Genshin, there's no like manipulating the world, like adding ice to the world, or like setting magma on the ground, or like putting like rocks and boulders in people's way. Yeah, one thing Genshin does that's really cool is you can manipulate characters' movements. So like a really good way to build a good combo system for certain enemies is you use like wind characters to like suck everybody together. That shit's pretty cool. I would definitely like to have things like that in this game. Sometimes cultures explain trauma by making it sound good. Like we don't fear the catastrophe. Yeah, definitely. I think that's a defense mechanism. We don't fear the catastrophe, but remember the heroes who helped keep everything stable after the ripple. Not the distraction. But welding immediately after it. Okay, the last sentence I don't really get, but the rest of it, I agree with you, and I think that will definitely be part of this story. Because essentially what I want is this world where like sci-fi Earth is combined with like some fantasy world, and all of those, like, the world gets destroyed, so like both people from both worlds are like trying to rebuild and live together, and it's difficult because one set of people come from like a magic fantasy world and the other set come from like a future sci-fi world. So then there's room for all kinds of like religious beliefs and viewpoints, like of all kinds, I guess. So then there is definitely room for some of that idea, like people trying to minimize the trauma and being like, you just have to move on and get over it. But then from our character's perspective, like they can't, and they need us as the player to help them, I guess. Annihilatory fusion. That's fun. Okay. That is an interesting term. Maybe that's what we go with. Do I plan on playing Pokemon Rocket Edition? Maybe. You can freeze water in Genshin or in the Pokemon Rocket Edition game. You can definitely freeze water in Genshin for sure. But not enough for it to be incredibly valuable. I like the idea of, like, if you were fighting in an area with a lot of water and you're fighting against an opponent that is like some kind of water-based creature and they can move through the water fast, but like instead you could freeze the water for like 10 turns and make it hard for them to move through the water. Like, yeah, you should do that probably. Do I mind if you spoil Rocket Edition? Yes, don't spoil Team Rocket, the Team Rocket fan edition. What music is that in the background? You can do that, I think, and get that. Okay, so Annihilatory Fusion. I'm just gonna, at the very bottom, let's make a cool word zone. Annihilatory Fusion goes in there. Oh no. And I forgot to put my phone on silent. Can we just paste without formatting? There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so for now, we'll just send the cool word zone down there. Okay, I need to finish the backstory. So, okay, so some scientists are doing some dumb shit. They cause like a crazy violent catastrophe. Now we have a magic world and our world mixed together. So then the last part of this, so during the catastrophe, let's see. So I want the like the narrator, the person who frames this universe, I want them to be like a powerful sentient AI that was at one point charged with protecting humanity and is still trying to do that, but is kind of like in hiding because it doesn't really know how to deal with these threats. Because it's like a military weapon. It doesn't know how to deal with like, oh, everything got destroyed and now there's a bunch of new people here. Do I protect them? Do I not? So a military AI is given full sentience and struggles with how to move forward, protecting humanity and the other species that now occupy our solar system. Probably need a name for that AI, because my thought was that AI would be the one who like contacts you as the player outside of the game world to be like, hey, I need help. Please come help. But I think that's a good enough understanding of the backstory. You have like a powerful but flawed narrator who can see things and has access to all kinds of like data and instruments, so it makes sense that they would be able to give you like quests or tell you about the world and what you need to go do. And so I think that is a good enough framing device for me to be able to do it. Like I could essentially use it however I want, right? I can just justify it with technology or magic. Maybe my symbionts can have a different name. Ooh, synth is cool if they're synthetic. Yeah, that's actually a cool idea. AI kernel. That's actually funny because that's like military, but then also kernel, like Kernal, is the like term for oh my god, how do you even accurately describe what a kernel is? It's like the base of an operating system or something. I don't even know. Could name it DAMI, Defense and Attack Military Intelligence. I think something like that, but something that sounds more of like a name. Like an actual name that then is shoot, what's it called? It's like a backronym where you come up with the name and then you make the abbreviation make sense. Ooh, Damien is pretty close to Dami, but Damien sounds evil. Ooh, I don't know. I want him to not sound evil. I want him to sound powerful and maybe disconnected, but not necessarily evil. In Destiny, there's a powerful AI named Rasputin, and I think that is a really cool name. I need something like that. What have I got against Nightwing? Is that Nightwing's name? That's funny. That's silly. I didn't realize. You know what I meant. It's not like a common name. It's not like Jeffrey or Michael. Oh my god, I need to silence my phone. Sorry, phone. You gotta go on Do Not Disturb mode. I used to have it set to just go into Do Not Disturb while I'm streaming, but I guess maybe the last Android update got rid of that? I don't know. And Adam is too, I like Adam's a cool name, but it's too like Adam and Eve. I don't know. We'll think of something. It's not important. It's something that can be shopped. We can think about it for a long time. Okay, so now we have this like destroyed world that's a combination of like sci-fi and fantasy worlds, and an AI that doesn't know how to go about like rebuilding. Just gonna put in desperation. AI contacts. They contact. Let's see. Do I want to say players? Sure. No. Let's just go with the player. And as the player, we're a force outside the world and capable of acting in ways that the AI cannot. So the reason that the AI asks us for help is that we have like a unique viewpoint, and we have the ability to act in ways that the AI can't, since the AI is like limited by safeguards in its design. It can't go about doing certain things. Really, all it's able to do is like attack and destroy or defend things. But like now is the time for like diplomacy and rebuilding and whatever. Oh, his name is Damien, not Dami. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm about to Google Damien. Isn't Damien the like name of like the devil's son or something in some movie? He's the Antichrist in a series called The Omen. Okay. And honestly, that kind of makes sense for I don't know, a superhero in the Batman universe is very like they're not like Superman, right? They're not like pure good guys. There's shades of gray in there. So I guess that would be a potentially good name for a hero in the Batman universe. What if there was real-world file system manipulation at some point? I do like the idea of games getting meta like that, where you're doing things outside of the game. There is a boss fight in Inscription, one of the coolest fucking card games I've ever played, and at one point you have access to your files in your computer and you have to choose like big files, like chunky, high amount of gigabyte files to like hurt the boss. It's very silly, but it's certainly fun. I don't have any plans for that right now. If I can figure out a smart way to do it that's cool, I would absolutely do it, but I don't want to just like do it for the sake of doing it. I need to have like a really good idea. What if the protagonist met the AI from a screen saying military intelligence activated, so the player just calls it MIA? That's interesting. That's kind of cool. That might be a good idea. Okay, hold on. We'll add that to the list. I'll just type it. But yeah, that's a fun idea. I think I'm gonna just like wait as long as possible to lock in names so that I can have as much creative room as possible. Again, I'm gonna reference Rasputin. Rasputin's really interesting because he, the way that he communicates, reinforces the idea that he has a Russian name, if that makes sense. So that, you know, we'll leave it open. Whoa. The music just paused for a second. That was weird. Maybe it was just my headset. I didn't fully charge it last night. Doki Doki Literature Club literally needs you to delete files to achieve certain endings. That's cool. I know that game gets weirdly meta and very strange. Or maybe military intelligence in action. Let's see, what was the other thing? Maybe. Okay, so I think the last thing to add to this is how do I explain this? So my thought for the story is that the way that at the very beginning, when the scientists are like connecting portals to essentially like teleport across our solar system, that what they're actually doing is opening a like portal into another dimension, and that dimension doesn't really work. It's not just like a simple three-dimensional universe like ours. There are ways to like bend space so they can like bring two distant points together so that then you can like, you could step through a portal on Earth and end up on the moon or on Saturn or something like that. But then that actually living in this universe is some kind of like digital creature. A like some kind of creature whose entire goal is to survive the end of the universe, and by how do I express this? So they are just constantly like watching and cataloging everything, and their goal is to like, they want to win any way they can, and to them winning means surviving. So they want to be like helpful and kind to everyone they can be, to become like an indispensable force. And so like that's their whole goal, is to both like collect information, but to also be incredibly helpful. So like if you turn against them, like they'll fight you, but before then they'll try to essentially like be so useful to you as a society that you're just like, oh yeah, of course, those guys are great. Like, of course we want to be friends with them. Informational life form, that's cool. Gboard gave you the idea of advanced military. Oh, and then you could make it like Amy, advanced military. Oh, advanced military intelligence. Oh my god. So it would be spelled AMI, but you'd pronounce it like Amy. Okay. That could be good. I don't know though. I kind of want to. I kind of want its name to be longer. I don't know. But yeah, an informational life form sounds cool. The idea of becoming immortal in deeds. But yeah, it's essentially like the idea would be they're so useful that if every single species across if every different universe and every species that grows to intelligence like needs these things to live, then these things are most likely to like live as long as possible. It's like their survival goal is like, let's just be helpful to everybody while we collect lots of information, and then we'll be like the most helpful form of technology. And then that species, for some reason, I need a good name for them, but maybe we'll just go with an informational life form. That species then like sort of infects our world, because we were going into their universe to like rip portals between areas, and then we did a stupid thing where we like there was the magic world that gets combined with our world was also doing the same thing we were doing. Like they have like teleportation magic and portals and shit, but they were also coming into this shared informational life forms universe. And so the dumb thing we did like ripped the magic world into our world. And so now the informational life forms are like, okay, like we gotta figure out like what happened and help them out. And so then for some reason they think the best way to do that is to like kind of infect our world with them. Like they are in our world and we can use them. And so that explains why like they will be the thing that allows you to find a like symbiote and then like turn it into a weapon or turn it into your armor or take from it like a powerful move that you will then use. You beg me to add an item called Effective Bagel. It's a damage item that deals slight damage and can make the enemy rage. Okay, all right. Maybe as an Easter egg, as a joke. I definitely want to add some silly shit in. Have I worked with any game engines or coding? No. Also, hello, Radzuki. I have not. I don't know. Well, okay, I have done very little coding in Fortran for an engineering project. I don't think that's going to help at all with this. Well, okay, maybe the like mental mindset of like, why doesn't this thing work? It makes perfect sense. Why doesn't it work? And then like bashing my head into a wall over and over until I realize like, oh, it doesn't work because I mixed this thing, or I should have put that thing there. I think I might be emotionally more prepared. But that's about it. Bonus points if the effective bagel is actually one of the most broken items. No. It'll be a silly thing and that's it. And maybe at best there could be like an enemy that you could enrage into charging you, and then you can like move out of the way and it goes off a cliff or something. Maybe like a little, it could be helpful in a little tiny way. Making a game in MATLAB. Oh yeah, I've used MATLAB a bunch too. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna help. And the goal is for this to be very, very simple. Like this backstory and stuff, it's gonna be explained in text at best. Especially because like I'm not a fucking artist, so. One of your peers made a mud in Pascal ABC. What is mud? It's one of those like dungeon exploration games. Multi-user dungeon. Whoa, I didn't know that's what it stood for. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like you could make a game in lots of things if you wanted to. Like somebody made I don't know how they made it, but somebody made like a version of the original Zelda that you could play on a graphing calculator. That was crazy. I only played a tiny bit of it, but it seemed like mostly the same game. It's pretty cool. Obviously in black and white. Well, maybe that's less obvious now. Do new graphing calculators have color? Graphing calculators in my day were black and white. But okay, so the last part of this that I need to add is about the informational life form. So I was gonna say the strange universe that scientists were using to travel through with portals is home to a strange digital life form. Strange digital informational life form. That's probably not the right way to say that, but we're just trying to get the ideas on the page. That life form survives by exploring the multiverse, right? If we're talking multiple universes, and being a valuable, oh my god, I can't spell, being a valuable tool for any other species it encounters. Okay, and I'm just gonna say this life form is used as an explanation for our characters' abilities and any strange space magic nonsense I want to have happen in the story. All right. It's life form, not one word. Yeah, that would make sense. Oh. There we go. You just thought of a joke item called mystical legendary cheese. Oh my god. Cheese, you get one. It's in a secret room, and trying to collect it gives the message you can't pick up any more items. Your bag is full of oxygen. Oh my god. You get one, Cheese. I'll let you choose one thing when we're getting to the end of this, and I'll put it in as a joke. So far, it's either the bagel or the legendary cheese. Okay. Let's change that. Oh. No, I like this informal way I've written that. Oh my god. Okay, we're just gonna ignore the grammar. Okay, so we have the vaguest of backstories. And then as far as the idea for the name, I was thinking of calling it Midnight Scribe, because the idea would be that like you as the player are visiting this world in your dreams, and then over time you will find out that the world you are in is influenced by other people's dreams, and the idea is like, I don't know, at midnight you would be asleep, but then also I was thinking of making the difficulties of things described by like time of day. So like if something's difficulty was like dawn, it would be easy, and then dusk would be a little more. No, I don't know. It was a general idea, but like midnight would be the hardest difficulty. But I don't know. For now, that's just a vague term. I do want the name to be something in relation to dreams and then scribe. Oh my god, what if the AI was called Damien, meaning defense and action military intelligence activated nightly? You're stretching a little hard to get that in there. Something like that could be okay. And it having a name that offhand sounds kind of dark or evil could be an interesting point of conflict if people in the universe know that you're working with it, and maybe they like blame it for what happened, or they blame it for not helping out more. Like, but little do they know that it, like, you know, he's trying his best. He's just a fucking super smart computer that's not allowed to do whatever he wants because people are afraid of super smart computers doing whatever they want. Yeah. Okay, so I think the background of the game makes enough. Oh boy. Okay, come on. Don't scroll like that. I think the background of the game makes enough sense. Lucid is an interesting term in relation to dreams. I don't know if it'd be good for difficulty though. I think something with like in relation to the amount of light is very interesting. Nightmare could be cool. Dang it, I'm too hot with my jacket on, too cold without it. But actually, my one jacket is two jackets, so let's just fucking separate them. Okay. So you always remember nightmares so you can take a lot more out of them. That is a cool concept. Damn. Ooh. So like, if that was the hardest difficulty, but also the most rewarding, it would make sense with the idea that like you remember nightmares more than your regular dreams. That's a cool idea. Damn. Okay. So I have the vaguest sense of the backstory. I think the real step that I still need to take is to figure out exactly how it's taking place in a dream world. I think what the idea might be that the chaos caused by the two worlds like colliding and mixing together has led to like all these weird like fragmented realities, and you as the player have to like go into them to like rescue people and bring them out back into the real world. You suddenly thought of Omori. That game looks really cool. I would like to play it. What if the dreams will be stages within a dungeon? I was thinking that the dreams would be like a dungeon. Like essentially you're going through the main plot, and then you would go into dreams to like help people, and then you come back out bringing them with you and some of the things from that dream world. So it's like it's a world that has become real, but it is inspired by people's dreams or nightmares, and the way in which it is made real is in some way related to the weird informational life forms. And maybe that seems evil at first, but then eventually you realize like maybe the only way to save these people was to like give them these weird dream worlds for them to exist in, but then like the worlds can't exist for a long time, so they're like falling apart, so we have to go into them and bring them out. And I like that idea because then I can make it so that there are like extra party members that you can recruit, but only by going into their specific dream and like dealing with whatever their challenge is, and like having enough of these optional dream worlds that you can go into would mean that you can kind of choose like at the beginning of the game, depending on what you've started with, what your chosen class is, you're going to be bad at certain things and good at other things, so then you'll want to recruit specific people by going into their dream world. And so I think the next thing to do would be to like outline the game. And I guess it makes sense to just keep doing that in a Word document. So yeah, we're just gonna have like a gameplay outline section. I think it's gonna be a bit of a mess at first. So I think it makes the most sense to start from like a high level perspective, and like not even like right now we're gonna say like, hey, there's tactical combat. Later we will get into how the actual tactical combat works. Thomas, what are you doing? Oh my god. Why do cats sniff things so hard they start to like knock them off of things? How does he really need to get so close to something that he's gonna push it off of my desk? I don't understand cats. The game should have 6 bosses and the 7th final one. No. There's gonna be a lot of bosses. There's gonna be a lot. I can prioritize after. It's brainstorming, you don't need to rationalize ideas in this step, for sure. I want it to at least be mostly sensible from someone's perspective who's watching. Hey, Bob Joe Pie, sweet name. Oh my god. So I think this will be a little bit more organized than how I normally brainstorm things, just for the sake of it being semi-followable from the perspective of someone who's watching, I guess. So actually, yeah, maybe even above gameplay, I almost just like want like the game like format. So like this is going to be a campaign-based game. Maybe multiple endings. I feel like for now probably not, but boy, in games I love being able to do different things. Choose to kill people, choose to save people, choose to like, you have a limited amount of time. What do you do? Do you go help these people? Do you only help yourself? Do you try to help everyone but not as much? I love that kind of stuff. But that's like feature creep. That's a little bit scary. The first boss should be a pebble with stick legs and arms. Honestly, with my art skills, it might be something like that. Like that one meme about snakes being cute with arms and eyebrows. I don't know that meme. That's a meme. Snakes are cute with arms and eyebrows. Oh my god, there's a picture of Snake playing a saxophone. That is kind of cute. Yeah, that's pretty funny. They mostly just look silly. I think that's why it's cute, because it's just so ridiculous. All right. You don't need to make different endings to make choices meaningful. That's interesting. That is an interesting point. That is true. Okay, so then how about... Crazy Pants. Thank you for being an 8-monther. I truly appreciate you. You couldn't hear that? No. So I just had to listen to that on my own. I ruined it. Okay, well, hold on. Now, hold on. That's annoying. Gotta find speaker bot. Gotta find streamer bot. Because we restarted the router. Dang. All right, one moment. What's my freaking IP address for this bitch. Open the server settings, show the connect info. Yes, I'm streaming, I know. Okay, there we go. All right, okay. So then it's just one of those. Okay. And let's see if we can connect. StreamerBot does not want to connect. Double check it. We're just gonna double check it. You spent way more time than you want to admit. Combing old clips to find where I told you the command. I could have just told you again. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Okay. Why? Connecting. Disconnected. Damn. StreamerBot, what's your fucking deal, bro? All right, well, StreamerBot does not want to connect. That's frustrating. The port? Ooh, the port was off by 1. Interesting. I don't remember changing the port recently. Usually only the IP address should fucking change. Okay. It says it's connected now. It's fine, the moment has passed. Just... All right, Crazy Pants. I'm sorry I ruined your moment. Also, now it's just not working at all. Hold on. Let me try the other thing. It's gonna say I'm gonna run an ad, but I'm not going to. Oh no. It double, and it's okay. I don't. So I'm hearing it, but it's not coming through OBS. You go away for a week and nothing works anymore. Okay, well, SpeakerBot's just gonna be broken for today, I guess. Apologies for the distraction. Crazy Pants, thank you for the resub. I will fix it tomorrow. Yeah, Dear Glover, that's the problem. OBS is not picking up the audio, but the annoying thing is I haven't changed anything, and OBS is telling... Oh my god, okay, all right. Did those things come through? Did you hear that you blew it? Interesting. Yeah, for some reason, OBS lets you record audio from a specific program, and every once in a while, it just won't work, and you'll have to restart OBS, which means ending the stream. It's really fucking annoying. It essentially means you have to test every single thing if you want there to be no chance of it failing. And I forget to test every single thing. I'm incompetent. That's okay though. We'll still have a good time. No TTS for today. Okay, so back to the game. So the overall format, it's gonna be a campaign-based game. Even more important than that, like top-down isometric with very simple art. We're not gonna steal art. We're gonna use free art if it's available. I will draw some art if I have to. Charon should be the fast travel guy. That's fun. It's a fun idea. I do want to kind of be careful about just using names of gods from our history. I want to make up some weird ones, but something like that would be cool. Like the whatever the fantasy world is that's overlapped with this world, with our world, is like they have a pantheon of gods that actually exist and do cool stuff. So then, yeah, whoever their version of oh my god, I don't even know how to pronounce Charon. We're gonna find out. It's Charon. Oh my god, it sounds like Karen. Okay, wow, that sucks for him. Ooh, RPG Maker has sprites. Ooh. So the problem with that is I would have to either... I looked into this. You have to make a game in their engine to be able to use their stuff. So it isn't like I couldn't just buy the game and then use their sprites however I want, which I think that's how it should be. But there's specific rules. You have to make the game in their engine to use their sprites, which we might be able to do that instead of with Godot. I think the only problem is tactical combat would require like a bunch of extra scripting. And I think a few people have made tactical combat like scripts, but I don't know if they'll do what I want. And I don't know if it would be like an uphill battle to try and make RPG Maker do what I want. I don't know. Everyone's gangster until Jesus appears. Is that Cheese Jesus? It's JS, basically an RPG Maker. What is JS? Okay, we do want a rotatable camera. So we will do top-down isometric, but we for sure want a camera that can rotate. I fucking hate not being able to rotate cameras in isometric games. Oh, JavaScript. Okay. Oh, you were referencing the G's Cheese quote, for sure. Yeah, okay. Maybe today I'll do some research as to whether or not I could just use RPG Maker. Part of the idea of using Godot is that it's free. RPG Maker is on sale regularly, but it's still like $60 or $70. It's pretty crazy. And there's so many different versions, I don't know which one to fucking use, so... Well, we'll do some research on that. Let me... make a note. Figure that out later. Okay. So it's a campaign-based game. We have a top-down isometric format. Probably no voice acting. Like, unless for some weird reason, people wanted to voice act parts and contribute it. But I'm not gonna fucking pay people for that. But maybe characters have fun little like noises. Would you even vocalizations? So then you could kind of get the feelings of what they're saying when they're talking. What's my inspiration for this game? I want a tactical combat game that works the way that I want it to work, which I know that sounds very weird. But like basically playing Pokemon a bunch makes me want a tactical combat version of Pokemon, which there is a game called Pokemon Conquest that is Pokemon with tactical combat, but it doesn't quite work the way I want. I really want a tactical combat system that focuses on the environment. Like, I like the idea of a Pokemon battle where you could breathe fire into water to make like a bunch of like steam and mist to make it hard to see through the water or across the water. Or if your opponent moves through the water, I like the idea of being able to freeze the water so that they can't just quickly move through the water and have that like terrain advantage. But then obviously they could melt the water so that then they can move through it again. things like that, like a tactical combat with a heavy focus on the environment, is definitely something that I want to exist. I am dying to play something like that on a regular basis. So that is my goal. So even if I make a game that has terrible art, I want the tactical combat to be like visually easy to understand and like very intuitively rewarding in the way that you interact with the environment with your cool magical fire and ice and lightning powers or whatever else we end up having. Make it not only the feeling of what they're talking, but also how they're talking. Yeah, you can get a lot done with the vocalization part, which I think I could essentially do all of that, but like using voice mods to change my voice or whatever. The sounds they make in Animal Crossing are simply the syllables of the phrases spoken very quickly. That's a cool idea. You just thought about a piece of equipment next to the freezing water idea? Oh, I am hoping that it leads to all sorts of ideas. That, like, I feel like that's the a good system. Like, just the idea itself leads to a bunch of cool ideas. Feel free to share, unless you don't want me to steal it. Because if it's a cool idea, I'm gonna steal it. Okay, top-down isometric, campaign-based, no voice acting. We do want some sort of like rogue-like sections. Challenges that the player can get rewards from for the campaign. I think that is an important aspect of this. Maybe even roguelike sections replace grinding. Because I don't want you to have to grind if you don't want to. If you want to grind, you're welcome to grind. But I also want there to be a sort of like a separate challenge system where you don't have to grind and you can face interesting challenges. Ooh, what about Bastion? One thing that Bastion does that I absolutely want, which I guess this is a place to note, a difficulty system with lots of levers. Bastion has a I can't remember what they're called. They're these like statues you can activate, and they work kind of like the skulls in Halo, where it makes the game harder in like a tiny little way. I'm gonna put skulls in Halo since I remember what those are called. And you would get increased reward. Since this will be a like long RPG with a campaign, you definitely need increased rewards. It's not just for the extra challenge. They were called idols. Okay. I'm gonna change it then. Those are fucking sweet. The placeholder name for your item is DIY heels. Looks like a normal shoe with one of those switchblade knives. Oh my god. Increases the damage of normal attacks and makes you move normally on ice and rocky terrain. The idea being that the switchblade locks you in the ground. Oh my god. Okay, I don't think that would be that helpful. There is a funny thing in Divinity Original Sin. You can hammer nails into your boots. And then you can, you're wrong, they're called Pantheon. Okay, let's just go back to Skulls and Halo. I'll remember that better. In Divinity, you can put nails into your boots, and then you don't slip on ice. And there's no drawback for it. I feel like it would be really annoying to walk around like that normally on normal terrain, but you know, it's a hard game. You take advantages wherever you can get them. Okay, so what else is important for the general format of the game? I guess we should also note, probably near the top, that it's a turn-based tactical combat. They focus on the environment. Melt ice. Actually no. Freeze water. Freeze water. make steam clouds. Dang it. I want everything to fit on one line. There we go. There we go. The ice climbers in Smash don't get affected by ice physics because of the spikes in their boots. That's cool. I do like little things like that. I definitely want to I want to come up with all of the like environmental interactions first, and then start thinking about equipment and other things that would interact with those systems. And spikes on your feet definitely seem like something that would be important. Even additionally, like, because my view of the game is that you will be some kind of humanoid, and you will be like bonding with weird Pokemon-like monsters that will battle for you and with you. I guess with you is a better term. You're actually in the fight yourself. And so then maybe there will be certain beasts that you, certain symbiotes that you capture and fight alongside of you that have good grip on ice. Maybe they have like kind of a native spikes in their shoes, but they don't actually have shoes because they're monsters, you know. So Drew Glover, the other thing you were mentioning from Bastion is the way that you always come back to like a Nexus world. I think something like that is a good idea, like some kind of like home base. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Like I do like the way that in Pokemon you kind of just like explore a whole continent. But obviously it's a very small continent. But I like the idea of traveling to new places as part of the journey. And I don't know if I want to always come back to a Nexus world. Maybe having like a the vehicle's an interesting idea. Like having this little like almost like a camp that travels with you that's a safe space. That seems like a cool idea. Geez, what are you saying? If you do fire on water, that makes steam. Fire hit by water, the fire goes away. Yeah. But I think even that would also make steam, right? And I would need to, I think I want to specify like the size of a water body. Like if you had a little tiny puddle and you hit it with fire, you're going to make steam and the puddle's going to disappear. If there's like a lake and you hit the surface of it with fire, you're going to make steam and the lake will probably still be like pretty much completely full. What about the Karen fast travel? That would be part of the safe space? It could be. Could be. I'm still not fully sure about how I want to, if I want to do that. I think I'll let that, I'll decide on that as I'm designing the game. Because essentially, like, the way I see it now is it's basically like this game would essentially look like Pokemon. Top-down, isometric. I guess in Pokemon, you can't rotate the camera. I want to be able to rotate the camera. There will be like puzzles in the world, but then when you do combat in the game, it just takes place out in the world. There's not going to be like a transition into a battle screen. It's just like the actual map that you're walking around and exploring. Otherwise becomes where you have the turn-based battles, which is like, that's how like Baldur's Gate is set up. You're just walking around a world, and then if somebody starts combat, then like boom, it goes into turn-based mode, and the place you just were is exactly where the fight is happening for sure. If there's a lake and you plop some lava in it, ooh. I mean, then it would, if Minecraft is to be believed, you would just make a bunch of cobblestone. Took you an embarrassing amount of time to realize there's a waltz? on Lost Woods. Like the Lost Woods song is a waltz? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know a game like this, but it's kind of adult. Okay, yeah, if mature is fine. Not past that. If it's like if there's, I don't know, an adult only game, that might be a little too far. It has a system of moving your camp once you clear the location. Different locations have a different amount of space and surplus. That's an interesting idea. Maybe the elemental clashes can be in levels, like water on a low level is a puddle and disappears with steam. I think that would be something that the game would be keeping track of. Like a puddle would be considered like a small amount of water, and when fire hits a small amount of water, that water will disappear. That is definitely something I want to think about. And that it would change. That would be important because you might want to use an ability that makes a bunch of small puddles, specifically because you want to turn them all into steam and not have any water left on the ground. Or have an ability that doesn't make puddles. It is like a water attack, but it also like replaces some sections of the ground with like large amounts of water. Because maybe you have a character who moves quickly through water or something, and you want to turn a bunch of the environment into water so you can travel around and attack enemies more easily than they might be able to run from you. So yeah, the amount is definitely important, but I feel like that's the next section for sure. Because the combat is so important, I definitely want that to be the next section we work on. So this is just a high-level overview. Okay, so it's top-down isometric. We have turn-based tactical combat with a focus on the environment. It's a campaign-based game. There's no voice acting. There are roguelike sections. But see, it's a long campaign. This isn't going to be like a 5-hour game. Well, I'm sure people could speedrun a Pokemon game pretty quickly, but I feel like normal playtime in a Pokemon game is like 20 plus hours. That's definitely what I want. Definitely some kind of focus on endgame. Oop, accidentally hit the start button. Maybe cosmetics. Maybe cosmetic rewards. Definitely challenges. Like crazy challenges. If people love my game, I want them to have something just absolutely devilish to sink their teeth into that is hard to do. I could allow storing of elements for upgrades. That's an interesting idea. I don't know if I think I want things like fire and magma to always be separate because they're just different. Like magma is just really, really hot rock, and fire is the act of combustion. But maybe some kind of upgrade system from one kind of fire attack to another, or a greater area of effect or something could be something that we could do. Are there a lot of NPCs, or do we have rare contact with those who we recruit and save? I do want there to be a decent amount of NPCs, so probably something like the original Pokemon games where there are quite a few people. Lots of them don't do that much. You can talk to them about small things. Are we in a populated area or wilderness? I think both. We're going to go from one town to another and kind of like help them with their problems. So I guess that's actually maybe something that would be important. So the campaign involves traveling from one town to another. And you're specifically like helping them rebuild after, let's say, calamity. I think calamity is a good term. Traveling only has one L. Oh boy. Oops. We'd love if you could change the color of the fire you use. That's fun. I was definitely thinking about color blindness issues and being able to change the colors of things. I didn't really think about changing the color of elemental things because like you kind of just need to see they're happening. But just for fun, that would be cool to change the color of the fire that you use. Maybe fire and rock, the elemental clash of magma. So I think that is something I do want to focus on is specifically how things mix together. So I don't just want like water creatures do bonus damage to fire creatures. Like I want things like that, like combining things leads to other things. And the question will be how do we utilize that? Like sure, you could use fire, and if you had a strong enough fire attack, you could melt rock to make magma. But then what do you do with the magma? And maybe you could throw it at enemies. I guess also they probably couldn't step on it. You probably couldn't walk through magma. Accessing move upgrades with relationships. Within command. Hold on. Move upgrades with relationships. Like we can do magma if stone and fire synths are friends to each other. That is okay. That's an interesting concept. I don't know how I would necessarily work that in. Adding like a loyalty or a friendship system would be very cool, but I think that might be complicated. I guess you could make it very simple. Friendship heuristics, that's a cool way to put it. I feel like maybe the way that Sea of Stars has like combo attacks that characters unlock, it would be very cool to have combo attacks that you could unlock by having like a close bond. Like if I always used these like two symbionts together and they always fought together, like eventually they would learn how to like do cool attacks together. That could be cool. Maybe items could be classified with past and future. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I think certainly as you play the game, you will find a mix of those. Since the goal is to just have this be like a weird space sci-fi magic mashup. But I don't know necessarily what the value of doing that would be. It would be interesting if we could find a reason to classify them that way. Like, like if there was a person that wanted you to like heal him, but he doesn't want you to use future stuff. He hates future stuff. He's only down for you to heal him with like past magic stuff. That would be interesting. Some future items are better versions of past items. Ooh, I don't know. I want... Seems like your father. Oh my god. Look, some boomers are cool with technology, okay? Especially when it comes to medicine. They're probably not complaining that like their surgeon is going to use a new technique that lets them heal faster. They're probably just like, whatever. I need a knee replacement. Just fucking do it, doc. I don't really like the idea of past versions being worse than future versions. I want them to be like different things. Your surgery was robot assisted. That's fucking cool. That's kind of scary, but honestly, I feel like robots are probably more trustworthy. You want to know what it did. Team Worm, your surgeon might be cool. You might be able to contact the hospital and be like, hey, could you have him like send me an email and like tell me what it did or what it does in those surgeries in general? You're on your way to your surgeon right now. Oh shit. Well, fucking ask him. Some people like sharing that kind of shit. You might make his day or her day. I got it. I got there. I got there right before the stream will show. I beat you by moments. I remember to be gender inclusive. Just barely though. Barely faster than the stream delay. It's difficult. It's not intentional. It's a weird societally ingrained bias and I hate it. But you know, I'm working to undo it. Anyway. Don't know what else I need for the high-level overview. I think maybe the structure of the campaign. We know we're traveling from one town to another, but we need conflict. We need conflict. And I guess we could always have somebody like Team Rocket. There can always just be evil government or evil criminal organizations trying to grab for power. Or like environmental conflict, like the worlds are falling apart and we need to figure out how to fix them and make sure that we can all survive. You want to see the future version of the Mystic Legendary cheese? It would just be like really extra funky cheese. Oh my god, instead of oxygen in your bag, it would mention your bag being full of pollution. Har har. Oh, you don't have an appointment with your surgeon. She's just fitting you in when you get there. Just to... I assume it's not for fun. I assume it's like you need to have an appointment of some kind. And it's better that she's just gonna like squeeze you in wherever possible. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, we'll just maybe be like, hey, if you have time, I want to know how the robot helped. And maybe she'll remember this evening and be like, here's the name of the robot. And it's just send you an email. She has your email. I don't know. If I was a surgeon and somebody asked me that shit, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Just when I have time. Maybe this evening, maybe not. I don't know. I had a bunch of cool professors that were really passionate about teaching kids stuff. And like, they were so busy, they would just fucking forget. But if you like stopped by their office hours and reminded them, they'd be like, oh shit, yeah, I was gonna email the class about that one project that I did that was relevant to part of our lesson. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so we have some vague idea of the conflict. I think that'll come later. Because I think the main thing I want to do is, as quickly as possible, get the combat system going. Like, I envision the game running, and all it is like you press start at the title screen, and then you're in like a little tiny fight. Just obviously that's not the release date. That's like the first playable format I want. I don't even want to worry about how the story starts. I don't want to worry about what the first town is, like none of that shit. I just want to fight. I want a fight that's cool. And then we'll start bringing in like different environments, like a desert environment, a foresty environment, a glacier, frosty mountain environment, to think about what kind of different... Yeah, a prototype. Yeah, there we go. That's a not dumb word for it. A prototype. Okay, so I think from a high level perspective, I think this is good enough. I could use Moscow prioritization categories. What? That's a thing I need to look up. Hold on. Must have, should have, could have, and won't have, or will not have right now. Cool. Okay. That's not something I can do right now, but I think that's gonna we'll we'll revisit this brainstorming document and make a list of things in those categories. Thanks, Sir Glover. That's a really cool idea. Geez, what did you say? You could make a draft of the first scene if I told you how it went. But see, that's the thing, is I don't know how it's gonna go yet. And I want it to be as open-ended as possible. You do it after the brainstorm. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. For some reason I was thinking you'd do it as part of the brainstorm, but for sure. It would make sense as a way to organize all the things that you came up with during the brainstorm. Okay, so then let's move into so I think first I want the gameplay loop just briefly explained. And then I want to actually start laying out how I would do the combat system. It kills the brainstorm if you do it during. Yeah, I guess so. It's too like structured. Which this is strange because I honestly feel like I have just been brainstorming this game for like a year, just thinking about it in my off time. Okay, so the gameplay loop would be super simple. It's basically just you're going to shift between combat, exploring, maybe story, like when you're getting when you're talking to people during like a cutscene, something you couldn't just leave, and like the camera might pan ahead and show somebody or something happening, somebody coming in and then coming over you to talk to you. So I think essentially you would always be in one of these formats. You're either in a fight, or you're exploring the world, or story stuff is unfolding. And so then I think you would essentially you freely shift between combat and explore. Hello, Crazy Pants. Thank you for making me tea. Crazy Pants said she wouldn't make me tea, but she made me tea. Ha! I win. Hey, Crazy Pants, if you're still listening, thank you again. Maybe Mia tells you in a vague way about the main conflict. Then you get transported to a flashback or something. I think I do definitely want the AI to briefly tell you about the conflict, but in very vague terms. Like, well, I guess you said in a vague way. Like, essentially it's like, hey, I need help. There's like a world is in jeopardy. There are problems. You would probably enjoy helping. There's cool stuff to do. Come help. And then you get vague little pieces of information. Like I like the world building of Dark Souls, where like very little takes you out of the gameplay. And if you want to like read information that's some of it hidden, some of it very obvious, like even a weapon you pick up might have some information that outlines the backstory more. That is definitely what I want. Vague because computation power is overload. I'm not sure what that means. Like, because the AI can't be more than vague. He could only be vague. I don't know. I guess we don't necessarily need it to have a gender. We'll try to make a draft of that later. Okay, all right, geez. I don't want you to worry about this too much. This is supposed to be my thing, you know? Oh, sweet. It's not too hot, but it's still very warm. And I don't want you to feel bad if I completely throw it out, because again, am I going to learn Godot? I want to, and I think as of right now, I think that's the direction I'm going to go with it. I love the idea of open source software. From the research I did, Godot has quite an active user base. You've been daydreaming game dev for the last 16 years of your life. Yeah, I think in some way or another I have too. It's hard to actually sit down and do it though, which is the whole point of me making this stream, is to at least force myself a few hours a week to make slow progress. It's our thing. Soviet Union music, yeah. Yeah, not quite. Maybe. I'll give you an executive producer credit. It's fulfilling, but it's a great feat of mental fortitude. Damn. You're making me nervous about it. I think it's worth a try. Especially if I keep my sights set low. I just want to make something that like I'm not going to charge anybody money for this. This is just going to be like a fun little project. I may end up only like maybe I don't make this game really long. Maybe I build all these systems and make it just like a 10-hour game. That is almost like the setup for a bigger game that I make, and then I will start all over with all the knowledge that I've built in Godot and maybe find somebody who can do art good to make a better looking, essentially a sequel to this. Okay, so the gameplay loop is that you are either fighting and exploring back and forth, and then you hit story points here and there. Oh no, we're on the next page. Okay, so I'm gonna briefly... Combat is turn-based and tactical. Explore is real-time. Puzzles... actually, we say environmental puzzles. And like people to talk to, secrets to find. There's gonna be waterfalls with stuff in them. Just a 10-hour game. Careful on my scope. Well, I guess it's like the main thing I want is for the combat system to function, and then I'm like, then I need to make a fun thing around it that tells a story. My initial thought was for it to like essentially like make a game that's Pokemon length, which would be quite more than 10 hours. So if anything, I want to like shove that scope down. You're doing the draft mainly out of fun and to see how it evolves into the actual thing, even if it's discarded, for sure, for sure. Will we have Metroidvania things? You like tools that let you get to new areas. I think at least a little bit. Like, I think it's maybe just for items, like the way that like when you're playing Pokemon, you walk by a spot and you're like, oh hey, there's like a weird bush, and then later you get cut and you're like, oh, I can cut those bushes, and then you can go back and get like an item. Something like that for sure. As far as the puzzles go, I want most of them to be like, I don't want you to have to come back to solve them. I want things that when you see like, oh, there's a puzzle here, I want you to already have the tool. Like you'll get to a new area and maybe you'll see a few of the puzzles before you get your new tool. And then you'll get the new tool and be like, oh, cool, I use those like gloves that let me lift things, or that like leaf that lets me blow wind. I clearly am thinking about Cadence of Hyrule. Maybe like specific areas that are like very clearly like a special challenge puzzle might require you to come back with something new. But I think for the most part, that's not what I want to do. Bob Joe Pie, thanks for following, dude. Geez, you hate Metroidvanias? You always get lost and it's super confusing to come back in after some time. That second thing is definitely true. I like the way that later Pokemon games tried to, when you reload your file, they try to give you a little like last time these things happened, and like it doesn't really work. I think a good like journal system can really help with that. It's really nice playing Baldur's Gate 3 to like you'll do something and you'll get a journal update and you'll be like, what was that? And you open your journal and go to your journal and you're like, oh right, we found this weird forge where we could craft a special weapon, and then we just found part of the materials to craft that weapon. Thank you for reminding me, game. And the game will tell you the general area to go for the next part of that quest. If you know, sometimes the game is just like collect more information about this situation. I think having a good system like that can help you avoid getting lost. And I think that's part of the idea behind the game being called something scribe, is that like you are recording and documenting all of this. Maybe with some kind of weird magic tool, so you don't actually have to write it out as the player. Obviously, I don't want you to have to actually write out the quests that you're doing. But you'll have some kind of system that keeps track of that. Metroid fans telling you how grabbing an ability by doing something that the game said wasn't possible and then returning to the first room of the game to unlock the next boss is peak game design. It's okay. Cheese, you're being unfair. It is cool. It is cool when it works. I feel like the way that it works well is when you see something as you're playing through the game and you're like, that thing looks fucking weird. That's like, there's like this place is like a weird ice frozen over. There's like an ice wall. It's just hyperbole. Oh, I know. That's why I said you were being unfair. And then later you get like a flamethrower or something and you're like, oh shit, the ice wall. I'm gonna go back to the ice wall. Like it makes it feel like paying attention is valuable. And that you're rewarded for like feeling like you are immersed in the world. It's cool. It makes you feel like you could. It feels like being immersed was worth it. It's not like I don't know. There are some things in Pokemon games that I'm like this doesn't make sense. I hate this. It's like they didn't even think about the world being real, which it's Pokemon. They clearly, it's fun. They're not trying real hard. It's not trying to be super immersive, but it feels good when paying attention to lore and the game environment is rewarded. Tropes are never bad. The implementations maybe. Yeah, I feel like a trope becomes a trope because it's so good that everybody's like, oh, we got to keep using that. And then it gets overused or poorly used. What about Metroid Zero mission, where for you to proceed, you have to go back to a room and bomb the floor? The only problem is you'll only know if things are explodable by shooting them. Oh, that sounds lame. Yeah, that sounds a little bit lame. I definitely played Metroid Zero mission. I don't remember that part. There's no like, it's not like the bombable spot isn't like a special texture or something, so that you can see that they're destroyable. Okay, is there anything else about the gameplay loop? Because the gameplay loop seems very simple. It's just like, well, I guess I should note, maybe this seems obvious, but like you explore to get rewards to make combat better and to further the story. So I guess I'll just, we might as well just write it out. Let's see, to make combat deeper? Because it's like you not only get better, but you might get new abilities. Let's just say explore to get rewards for combat. New abilities. Better weapons. Combat. Combat gives you a challenge / puzzle to complete and lets you explore more. And then the story's progressed. Through combat and explore. Through... Yeah, sure. That's good enough. I feel like that is the simplest thing. Then I really only need to think about these 3 situations. How the camera works, how turns pass, how time passes in each of these situations. It does just like look like normal ground until you shoot it. Yeah, then that sucks. If that's true, that sucks. If there's no way to learn that information, that sucks. How about a Magic the Gathering like look in the environment? Like where you are is kind of your mana? That sounds crazy, but interesting. Like if you were in a forest environment, you have like forest mana? And then you could only cast forest spells, or just for the look? Well, I have other party members. Yeah, I think part of the draw of the roguelike sections will be that's how you rescue other like scribes like you who can interact with the synths and like bond with them. And then I'm thinking I only want it to be like I don't want the scope to be too large. So I want like you have two scribes, and then they can each have 2 synths. So then you essentially have a team of 6. And I want the scribes to be like Genshin Impact characters where they're like very unique. One character who uses like ice element and a great sword is not going to be anything like another character who uses the ice element and a great sword. They'll have like strange, unique quirks about them. So then you'll need to like mix and match whichever ones you want to use for different combat situations, and based on what you like to do, obviously. Interesting. So, Dear Glover, you're saying that like the idea would be what you're standing on would like give you bonuses. That's a super interesting idea. So like if you were going to do like a fire spell, you would go and walk. You could like walk next to like a roaring fire. Like you could get next to, like right next to you would be some areas that are on fire. And if you stood next to them, you could like do more damage or cast the spell for a lower cost or something, because it's like you're utilizing the element in the environment. That's a really cool idea. Ooh, shit. Okay, I'm gonna, let's see. I don't know where to put that. Cool ideas. Whoop, not all caps. Cool idea zone. Standing next to an elemental source gives more power or lowers cost. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I was definitely already thinking of being able to only do certain abilities if you had fire on the field. You could like use like a wind ability to like move the fire in as like a little fire tornado or something. But yeah, I hadn't thought about this idea, like actually using the element just for what it is, either to make a like if you did like flamethrower, but you're next to fire, you could either have the flamethrower be more powerful because you have a source of fire, or have it cost less because again you have a source of fire. So it's like you're either using the fire as payment or you're adding the fire to your ability. That's a cool idea. Holy shit. Okay. Some monsters could have different shapes of environmental influence. That's an interesting idea. Like like if you had a creature that was like a tree that's on fire or something, then it would just contribute like fire element or nature element, like in a 3x3 square. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I feel like I would want that to be a very special thing. I don't want that to be like incredibly reliable, because I like the idea of you having to make the environment the way that you want, rather than just like, oh, I just bring this water guy around and he turns everything into water. Now I have all the water I need. But that is, and honestly, that sounds like a really cool idea for bosses, because then that would be a way that a boss could really like exert influence on the field. Like, oh, you want to turn everything into water? Well, like, fuck you, I'm a fire boss. I'm going to walk around and just like evaporate all the water. Changing the environment permanently can be challenging. Yeah, it would be like semi-permanent. In Baldur's Gate 3, you can like light the ground on fire. You can like throw oil on the ground and then light it on fire. And then the fire stays lit for like pretty much the entire time you're in combat. But then once combat ends and the game goes back to real time, the fire will eventually die out. So I think I would do something simple like that, where the changes that you make would last for most, if not all, of the combat experience, and then they would slowly like peter out after the combat. Smothering the water type? Swamping up the river before confronting. That is also an interesting idea. So like maybe a certain like boss, like a powerful synth, doesn't like make everything water around him, but he uses the water in his environment. And so if you slowly got rid of the water before the fight, damn, that's actually a cool idea. That's also very cool. I think that might be too difficult to because then essentially I would have to let you permanently alter the environment, like for the whole game. And I definitely want puzzles to be able to let you alter the environment. I wasn't thinking for like the entire game everywhere. It is an interesting idea though. Shit. Okay, we'll keep that. I think that kind of goes with the with this idea. Let's add another. Okay, so actually we'll just do this and do a little dash. Units, I'll just call the creatures, scribes, bosses, we'll just call them units. Okay, so the first thing was that they like exert a field of their element. Fire tree lights things on fire around it. And then the other idea is units rely on their environment and can be weakened. Remove rivers. And I guess you could even just have like a plot, like a cutscene that does this. Like if you were gonna fight a boss at the mouth of a river, but before you fight him, you go up the river and like freeze it, or put boulders in it to block the river or something. So I wouldn't even have to make it like that you can permanently change the environment everywhere. I could just make it like, oh, a cutscene happens and then that changes the state of the world after you do something. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. And yeah, sure, it would have consequences. It'd be easier to defeat the boss, but then you wouldn't have the river. That is interesting. Oh, that sounds evil though. It's a good example to illustrate the idea. I personally wouldn't want to destroy a river, but I think that's a good illustration of the kinds of choices I want a player to be able to make. They could either try to beat the boss the like goody two-shoes way of like, no, we don't want to harm the river. It's going to be hard. We'll figure out a way to beat the boss without doing that. Or the like the get shit done way, which is like, yeah, sorry, the river, we got to fuck the river over. Like this boss is a problem, and sorry, we got to get rid of the river. Oops, too bad. I got to get shit done. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Okay, so I think as a general gameplay loop, let's move this down to the next page. You can see this game is not topically Greenpeace, toxically Greenpeace. I can say Greenpeace would probably not support it. The environment is a topic in question. I guess so. Since I want the environment to be closely like interactable in combat, I also feel like it's got to be an important part of the story. Like what is okay to do, what is not okay to do. That kind of thing. You change the environment and the environment changes you. Ooh, that is interesting. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, like you have to adapt to the changes in the environment. And I think that is definitely how I want the game to be. I don't want the game to always just be like, I use these, this is my team, we're overpowered. If we go anywhere, we can just change the environment to exactly like we want. Like, no. You can adjust it a little bit, but it'll always be an uphill battle, and it will always be better to try and adapt rather than to just overtly change everything. And in certain situations, it will be much harder to change things than in other situations. Like I definitely already thought about the idea of like if there was a boss that could summon a blizzard and you're trying to like light areas on fire and he just like summons a blizzard to put out your fire in a large section, then you might need to realize like, oh yeah, I just can't rely on making a bunch of fire for this fight. It's not going to work out good because he can just get rid of it because that's the special thing that he does. Yeah. But yeah, I think it is important to conceptualize it as both directions, that you can change the environment, but you also have to adapt to it. And I think that'll be an important aspect of the game's balance, to not have you feel like you're overpowered and you can just bring any tool. To not feel like you can just bring your specific little toolkit to every different problem and that you'll always win. I want you to have to change what you're doing and to not make it, I don't want it to be difficult to change what you're doing. I hate the way that when you're playing Pokemon, the further you get into the game, the harder it is to change your team. I don't want that. I want the gameplay systems to incentivize you to have extra team members that you don't use sometimes, and then you bring them in for certain combat encounters. Cheese. Why have you yeeted yourself? Also, it's a way to not get bored of the same tool. Yeah, exactly. Because I think in any game where you have a bunch of choices, but you don't have to even engage with those choices and you can just use one solution, like it's just boring. It's lame. You don't know you felt like it? All right, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so I think the other thing... So one thing I should add to the gameplay loop is that you will leave the campaign. Well, I guess maybe that's not the way to put it. You will visit like dying worlds or realities to explore and combat and bring rewards back to the campaign. I think that's the only other aspect of this that's missing, and I feel like I need a term for that because... what? That's not what I wanted. I slapped my mouse and it fell over. Maybe I'll just call it rogue sections? Because I want there to be these little challenges that you do that then reward you, and then when you come back out of them, you feel like you have enough, like you'll have currencies, like rare candies or something that you can use to level up new members of your team. So if you feel like you're partway through the game and your team is not adequately prepared for the next challenge, you just do a bunch of these special little challenges. Oh my god, the fucking... It's crazy Twitch lets you change emotes. It's cute though. It's cute. It's time to Seth Pog. Oh my god. Those are just placeholder emotes. They will be replaced eventually. And then you'll have to tier 2 sub if you want to use my dumb face for things. If roguelikes are dreams, you can loot memories. Whoa. That is an interesting concept. I was thinking you were like going in to a dream world and like saving the person inside of it. Looting a memory is interesting. That sounds like a cool thing for the or like the plot. That seems like a cool way to like, oh, we can't figure out how to do this thing. Like, let's go into a dream world and loot the person's memory. Don't tier block the Seth Pug. Okay, maybe not. It's gonna be a while. I've got emote ideas. They're on my laptop. I just keep forgetting to finish editing them so they look good. Maybe saving someone doesn't equal memories. Yeah, I was thinking it would be like a separate use for going into the dream worlds. A thematic thing that makes sense that would help you push the plot when you're like stuck. Memories could be like items that summon a character that does one attack, and then the item gets discarded. Damn. That is oh my god, the resource hoarder in me hates that idea. I would never use those items. I would just collect them and never... it's not time. It's not time. Nope. I do like the idea of a memory being some kind of item. It would be cool to have the characters that you recruit, if they had like another... You go into a dream world, you recruit a scribe, bring them back, and then they're still conflicted about things, and then you go into like another one of their dream worlds and like bring back one of their memories, and then the memory is useful in some way, like being an item that you could summon. I don't know about one-time use though. Oh, I hate it. Me, the game player, hates it. Maybe not me, the developer. And maybe I could accept it, but ooh, I don't know. Okay, so I think the gameplay loop is good. So I think later, like we're gonna work on outlining the combat system. It's a metaphor in saving someone from dreams. Saving them not from a monster, but from an emotional struggle. Yeah, I honestly feel like it could be, in a dream world, your emotional struggle could be a monster. It could be physically represented as a monster. And that gives you a, like, I don't have any good ideas for it yet, but it gives you a good way to, like, combine like ideas like stage fright with like a dragon, and then that could be a synth that exists in the real world, because like your fear of stage fright and is represented as a dragon in your dream, but then that is somehow like bleeding into the real world, and now there's a bunch of weird, I don't know how a dragon and stage fright would go together. I don't know, maybe he's a dragon, but he's cowardly. There'd be a cute little cowardly dragon that you could capture as a synth or something. But so anyway, the idea is like the metaphorical nature of the dream worlds leads to actual representations in the real world and in their dreams. Whoa. Thomas is checking me out. Shit, do I still have the cat cam up? No, wrong one. There he is. There's Thomas. He's just getting comfy. What a cute boy. Maybe you can call the roguelikes dream wandering section. Something like that for sure. Or like a dream dive, like because you're going into someone's dream. I feel like it's our mission or quest to be a power of motion, to be a momentum. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like we're supposed to be like we move them through their struggles? Because that is kind of how I've conceptualized this, that like we're the one who needs to move forward people's stories. Like they need help with some kind of problem, some kind of nightmare, and we go in and like resolve it. Maybe not for them, maybe with them would be better. There's an adorable diabetes service dog here. It's so small. Very cute. Very cute. Just the concept of a tiny service dog is awesome. You mean that we, as the player, is the one who moves not only the main character, but others too? I think in a conceptual way, I do agree with that idea. I only want to actually control one person. But then in a metaphorical way, we would be like helping people through their struggles. I just thought of something. Imagine there's 3 levels of the tutorial. One, you learn elements. The second, you learn how the elemental clashes work. The last one teaches you how to use the clashes to your advantage. I think there will need to be, I think each of those needs to be a tutorial. But then I also think there needs to be more before that. I think I need to explain exploring. I need to explain just the combat system in general. Start off with like, here's how you move. Here's how you do basic attacks. Here's how you see how attacks will hit, like the range they have. And then move into the elemental systems. Beating all 3 unlocks a boss fight against a Hydra-like monster who uses all the main elements. That's a cool idea. I do want to, I want the tutorials to be like not required. I hate being forced to redo tutorials for a game that I know really well. But I do like the idea of giving rewards for them. Having a special boss fight seems cool. And if you just knew everything, you could just jump to the boss fight and take it down and then get the rewards. That is a really cool idea. Cool idea zone. Hydra boss that uses every element. But every simple element. We might end up going complicated. Like Pokemon has too many types. We're not gonna have as many types as Pokemon, but we might have some like low-level elements and then more advanced ones. But ooh, that's gonna be a thing we'll have to figure out for sure. Cultist Simulator has barely any tutorial. Yeah, it's hard to make a game like that. I feel like sometimes that loses people. If you don't have a tutorial that kind of holds people's hands in the right way, if they need it. But then I think there's a really good way to have like very minimal tutorial, but then a really nice help section that's like the moment you need help, you just come here, it makes sense, it's very clear how to look things up, you won't get confused. I think that's really difficult to do that well. Ooh, maybe beating the boss gives you something like a chosen weapon of a specific element. That's a cool idea. It's kind of, I would be hesitant to make people choose something like that very early in the game, though. So maybe it could be like a special weapon that can transform from one element to another with just a little bit of input. Maybe the Hydra can use fire, water, ice, cold, thunder, electric, rock / geo. I feel like a number like that seems okay. I would say like six elements, and then maybe like we max out at 12, but that's something I really need to, I'm gonna like sit while Crazy Pants and I are just doing random shit out in the living room, and like I'm gonna look at like all the elements in Pokemon, all the elements in Genshin Impact, Dungeons and Dragons, and try to figure out like Pokemon, no fairy type. Fairy's not a type. It's freaking no. That's not a type of magic damage. Like, no. It's just not. That's weird. It's a type of creature. Same with dragon. Like, dragon's a kind of creature. And maybe one thing I've been thinking about with the combat system is maybe a creature like a Pokemon should be like, I am a fire flying dragon, and like fire and flying are the elements, and then dragon is a creature type, maybe one elemental type and one creature type. I don't know, but I want dragon and fairy to be things, but just not elemental damage types. How about connecting elements with emotions? I think in some subtle way, definitely. I really like the fucking thing. Let me look it up. Let me find a nice picture of it. I cannot spell. There's something about talking on stream and typing is like impossible. Will this be readable? Can we go? Oh my God, it's a tiny picture. It's a tiny ass picture. Please be a bigger version. Okay, let me show what I'm looking at right now. This thing. So Magic the Gathering. Oh God. Well, it's really gross. It's a really low resolution. I can't find a higher resolution. Magic the Gathering has 5 colors. Everything in the game is one of these colors, except there are some things that are colorless. But I love the way that each of these colors is like flavored. So I think an easy thing to look at would be like white, since it's sort of straight up. Like white is associated with morality and order. Blue is associated with logic and technology. Black is associated with parasitism and amorality. And it's really interesting because the way, like if you flavor-wise, blue and black connect through shared ideals like ambition. Ambition isn't necessarily bad, but ambition to the point of selfishness or even paranoia is bad. And so like black and blue can meet in certain ways. White and blue can meet in certain ways, like law and intellect go well together. It's really fucking cool. I think something like this will, I can't not have something like this that underlies the elemental system in my game. Definitely. Oh my God, geez, I don't know. The like nuclear damage is so weird. I think wind would be a thing as far as like it might not be an element of damage, but it might be an element in that like wind spells are really valuable. Like moving characters is really valuable, and wind itself might be an element that does no damage. It just lets you mix or move things around. Sound is interesting, although I feel like sound would just be like physical damage. Which, honestly, I should probably start actually working on the combat system. Crap, I have 14 minutes. Okay, so then let's try and get some very general info down. Okay, so it's tactical. Player controls 2 scribes and 4, we'll call them synths. I think synth is a good term. It's quick, it's short. It's a little bit not unique. But then so is scribe. I spelled it with a Y. I don't think that makes it unique though. But position matters. Sure, I think that goes with tactical. Position matters. The environment matters. And I think that's the most, I think, to me, the most valuable part about tactical combat is how intuitive it is. That you as a human being who exists in a three-dimensional world, like, you just fundamentally understand tactical combat. Like, oh, I have a short weapon, I need to get close to that guy. Or like, oh, I have a rock and I can throw it only so far. Adding that layer of like thematic sensibility that is just intuitive to a human being, I think makes the puzzle of turn-based combat way better. Sound could be like, its gimmick is that it doesn't get stopped by barriers or terrain. Okay, that's very cool. I think it should still be physical damage, but we could have special abilities that do like physical damage, but they're not blocked by things like that. And it would specifically be things that are like sound based, like some kind of creature having like a bellowing roar or something. That's a really cool idea. Okay, well, let's back to the cool idea zone. Sound. Physical attacks that aren't blocked by barriers. Actually, it should be like small barriers. Like you could move past a tree, but not like a huge rock wall or something. So we would have to, oh my God, I'm gonna have to like, every object in the game is gonna have to be labeled by like, is it breakable? Is it like thick enough to stop sound? Just, is it flammable? Oh my God. That's gonna be the biggest fucking spreadsheet in the world. Just all the different objects in the game and what you can and can't do with them. Oh yeah, Cheese. You, I did miss that message. I would request you not repaste messages, but I will read it. Oh, a suggestion for armor made from the Hydra. And then it gives you an ability that changes the type of like damage you're dealing with it based on the user. It would also be interesting if it changed based on your environment. That's a cool idea. I like the idea of, at the beginning of the game, giving somebody both like a weapon and armor that's like, hey, it's not the best, but if you want to try out a new character, like you don't have a fire character yet and you recruit a fire character, you can give him the Hydra stuff and turn it into fire. Ooh, for combat, what happens on defeat? I think you would just restart. I don't think, well, okay, hold on. We'll have a weapon system. Yes, there will definitely be a weapon system. The creatures you use don't use weapons. The synths don't use weapons, but the scribes do. And you will face characters who are humanoid who use weapons, and you will face beasts who don't use weapons. And so you might have an ability to disarm people, but that won't be useful against like beasts because they won't use weapons. I mean, maybe some beasts will. Like maybe you'll find some kind of crazy deranged like ape, and maybe he'll use a giant club, or he'll throw things at you. And maybe if he's about to throw a boulder at you, you could disarm him. Maybe. So, you know, there will be exceptions. Okay, but back to the game over thing. I think there should be multiple types of combat. And I guess I might as well note that here. So like, I think I want some of this game to be like Pokemon, where part of like you getting stronger and you battling is it's like a hobby. Like there are other scribes and they'll fight you, but they won't kill you. Like if you go to fight like somebody who's like a gym leader in this world, they're going to challenge you, and if they beat you, they're not going to kill you. They're going to stop short of a lethal blow. And so in that case, you would just lose. And maybe like Pokemon, we'll say like honorable, you would lose cash. So if you lose cash. And then to the death, if you lose, you have to restart. Oh my god, if you beat them, can you kill them? Holy shit. Okay, I think for now, no. Not in an honorable battle. But maybe we could have certain points in the plot where you start a fight that's to death. But maybe you decide you don't want to actually kill them. And so then maybe you would get a chance to not kill certain people. You're here to ask me crazy questions. I appreciate it. These are important questions. Idea. Same system of a tutorial as the elements, but at the end you fight a Thunderbird who has you use all the simple types of weapons. Yeah, I think having a little challenge for each tutorial makes sense. And then if you know the game, you can just run through all the challenges and ignore the tutorial part where everything is explained. Defeating it grants you the Thunder Talon's Trident, which works as a heavy close weapon and a long-distance fast one. I like the idea of it being multifunctional. But now I feel like we're favoring the thunder element by giving it its own boss. It's easy for ADHD tendencies to generate ideas, so you'll at least be useful. Yeah, for sure. That's how I feel when I'm like coming up with ideas for this kind of stuff. I like have to very quickly write things down. I have an app on my phone that's just like simple notes. And it just has tons of random, like, what if combat worked like this? Here's a cool idea for a fire attack. It's just that, because I will think of something and then forget it in moments if I don't just write it down. And same thing with questions too. Like, what if you could do this? It's very difficult to go back through it and actually like organize it. It's fucking brutal. It is fun to reread sometimes. You said Thunderbird, but we could put in any mythological being. You can fly and walk. Okay, sure. Combat, is it initiative or limited moves per round? I think I want it to be set up based on initiative. I really like I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like the idea that some of it is your skill and some of it is like a die roll, and then that will determine the turn order. And then, so I guess, yeah, I should go initiative-based turn order. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons ever, but there is something in that Baldur's Gate does where turns are combined. So if based on the initiative, like I was gonna go and then my friend was going to go and then the enemies were going to go, like my friend and I can do anything in any order. He could go first, he could move, and then I could move, and then he could attack, and then I could attack. Like it chunks our turn together as one thing. I really like that. So I think I'm just gonna label that as combined turns for players, because it really leaves open discussion for how you're going to do things. It's really fucking cool. And then I think, yes, I want some kind of action point system or like bonus action system. I think I like action points better. Divinity, the game that was made by the same developers as Baldur's Gate 3, but before Baldur's Gate, they use an action point system where you get 4 a turn normally, but you can have a max of 6. So if one turn you only use 2, next turn you can have a big chunky turn. You love Divinity's action system? Yeah, me too. It's very flexible. I really like that. Do griffins fly? They have wings. I think they fly. I think generally they fly. I don't know. Also, Cheese, I don't actually know if I have ADHD. I just fit the bill of somebody who does. But I function mostly okay in life, so I haven't sought medicine or a diagnosis, you know? Okay, so action point system for turns. We're gonna go with divinities for now, and maybe you can change this. Like maybe you take a special ability that gives you 5 a turn, or maybe you max out at 8 with some special piece of equipment or something. And actually, I think we should go back up here after noting that the player controls scribes and synths. Synths don't use weapons, they just have abilities. Scribes use weapons and they use weapons, armor, and have abilities. I guess we could, the synths maybe they have held items or like one piece of gear, something small. So we'll just go with held items. Like maybe they have some small item to give them a little bit of uniqueness. And I want the synths are going to like act on their own, like as separate units, but I want them to in some way affect the scribe. Either like they give the scribe some kind of buff, or like elemental resistances. Like if the scribe is using 2 ice synths, then they will be like highly resistant to whatever ice is resistant to, but also very weak to whatever ice is weak to. I'm not sure how I want them to influence each other yet. Synths may wear trinkets. Yeah, something that an animal could wear. So either a held item, maybe an artifact is a cool term. That's very vague. It'll give us a lot of leeway as to what would be an artifact. You'll be leaving for now, for sure, Cheese. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the ideas. I'll be playing Pokemon tomorrow, so maybe I'll see you then. If not, you know where to find me. I'm here most of the time, minus that 1 week of vacation. Ooh, how about synths collect the mana around them for scribes to use their abilities? Ooh, that is an interesting idea. Okay, hold on. That goes in the cool idea zone. That's a cool idea. Why are you freaking out when I try to scroll, Google? Weird. Okay. Okay, so we have an initiative-based turn order. We have action points. We've noted that the synths only have abilities or maybe a held item. Scribes use weapons, armor, and have abilities. They get the abilities from synths. Actually, maybe just some of them, because I want them to each have unique abilities. So some come from synths, and some abilities are unique to each scribe and their like personality or history or whatever. How rare is healing? I like healing being relatively rare, and I kind of want to have some kind of limit to how much healing can be effective in combat. But I think maybe the idea is just make healing rare. I like the idea of a psychological system where like you can't just keep giving your Charizard potions. Like if your Charizard keeps getting hit by like rocks and lightning and mega punches, like you can't just keep giving him potions. Like eventually he's gonna be like, dude, I'm tired of being in pain. Like I need to chill out. I can't fucking keep fighting. Some kind of like psychological limit that's like, okay, no more. Sure, yeah, a stress system would be a good way to put it. I don't know if it would work out well. It might make the game too complicated and fiddly, but so I think we're either going to limit healing and have it be relatively rare, or we'll have some kind of stress system. Maybe the synths, you don't know, every time one dies, it takes a bit of health from the scribe. You have 2 on field and 1 dies and you lose 25% of your health. Like, not to bring them back, but you just lose health if they die. That is an interesting idea. Okay, let's put both of those things in the cool idea spot. Stress system can't be healed indefinitely. And then also some kind of like bonding system. Synth dies, scribe gets hurt. We might not do this just because of the idea that your synth dying might be bad enough already. It might be like such a detriment that it's like, oh, I don't want to punish you more. That might not be fun. And stress can be a good way to use powerful abilities. Shit, that's true too. I definitely want some kind of a like combat point system. Like small attacks build points and big attacks take points away. I don't like the idea, the way that Pokemon has like PP, and it's like, oh, you can just use Fire Blast 5 times. That's it. Go heal. You can get it back 5 times is it. I really like the idea of like, you got to do like a little Ember and a little Flamethrower. Like now you could do a Fire Blast. I like that kind of system because then you can really mix and match the kinds of smaller abilities you use, and maybe like Ember is really weak, but it builds a lot of combat points. I probably need a better term for that. Maybe we will just make it all a single stress system. Yeah, Cheese, it's a good point that it does make sense that if a scribe is bonded to a symbiote, that when they die, they would get some kind of penalty. But what I'm saying is maybe that would not be fun, and we would just have to ignore it and not have it be in there. But it is a cool idea. Now you're leaving for sure? Okay, bye. Bye, Cheese. Have a nice day. If they're revivable immediately, immediate punishment can be cool. Yeah, I think if you set it up right, punishment is kind of just part of the system, right? Like the way Divinity works with its 4-point action system and being able to see the order in which everyone's going to act. You can take the risk to revive somebody at a small amount of health, but if you don't have a heal ready for them too, then they might die. And I think that would be, I think that's going to be part of this for sure. But yeah, a lot of this will be open-ended until we actually get the system going and then explore it. Or they can be timed out until the next big waypoint. Yeah, I don't like that. I like the idea of being able to bring them back if you want to, because I feel like if not, then people are just going to restart. Like the moment somebody dies, they're just going to restart. If there isn't at least some way to recover, because going from 6 characters down to 5, down to 4 is like, oh my god, you just lost such a big percentage of your team, especially if they're all designed to work in ways that they like help each other to be able to do other things. Like you need the ice guy's elements to make your certain attack work or to defend you, or you're using them to go out and collect particles because they're fast so they can go and grab energy and come back. Oh, that's an interesting point. So 6 active characters, but a bigger team where you could swap people out. That's a cool idea. Ooh, maybe. I do really like that aspect of CF Stars. Your team is only 3 people? You're active, you have 3 people in combat, but you could switch people out, which can be really nice if somebody's hurt. If somebody gets attacked a bunch, you can like swap them out for a big attack that's coming that you know you can't stop. Okay, so 6 active characters. But what about swapping to inactive? That's an interesting idea. Really tingles the topic of burnout for you. The being able to swap characters out. I do like the idea. It might be too complicated. It might be too complicated. We'll see. I do, Sea of Stars is definitely one of the games that I'm thinking of inspiration for. So, okay, I only have a few minutes and I want to at least outline, we're brainstorming, for sure. There are certain things, I feel like I'm subconsciously doing that Moscow thing, where if you talk about something, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely going in. I have already thought about it. And then for something like that, I'm like, oh, I want it, but I don't know. Okay, so we want an environmental, oh my God. We want an environmental focus. You could use Ice Beam on the ground or a target. How about Flamethrower? Use Flamethrower to make a lake into steam and block line of sight. And then obviously you could just use Flamethrower to attack an enemy. Then we also want... Let's see, what else do I... Oh my God, I misspelled system. We want environmental focus. We also definitely want... I really like active button inputs. So like, press a button at the right time to block or continue attack. But definitely one of the first things you will get is the ability to turn this off. I know some people don't like it, and I want the game to have a balanced version that doesn't have it. Definitely. Drop your ideas. Only if we have to. Only if we have to. Risky mode. Honestly, I view active button inputs as just fun. And I know Sea of Stars tries to tell you in the tutorial, like, if you don't hit them, it's okay. Like, just view them as a bonus. And like, no, they're not a bonus. I need to get them. I need to fucking get them to feel good about myself. And also, there's like 1 or 2 spots that are really hard if you don't get them. But they're really fun. They're too fun to not have. Even like as far back as like Super Mario RPG, it feels so good to like jump, press the button at the right time, and like Mario's jumping on a dude's head every time you hit it, up to like 100 times. It's so fun. It just feels great. It adds such a cool dynamic. The other thing that I want is I really want Sea of Stars lock system. So in Sea of Stars, the enemy will do a charge attack and it can be broken with the right series of attacks. So like an enemy will be doing a charge attack and the game will let you know, like, okay, you've got 3 turns. And in those 3 turns, you need to do slashing damage twice and blunt damage twice and then some moon damage. And then it's up to you to figure out like, okay, this attack does blunt and moon. This attack hits twice and it does blunt. This attack hits twice and it does slashing. Like, okay, that's enough. Yep, that's overkill. We got it. What about Crypt of the Necrodancer? Oh, I guess active button inputs is probably very Crypt of the Necrodancer. Shit, okay. So I gotta stop here. This is a Google Doc. It's saved. Autocorrect annihilatory fusion. Okay, so before next time, I need to look deeply into Godot, figure out how some things work, because I don't think we're gonna spend another 3 hours brainstorming. I think we're gonna finish up the combat system. Just a brief description of it, and then we're gonna make let's make a simple prototype. That's what we'll decide. Like maybe we'll do like 2 or 3 enemies that do fire and ice and water, and we'll make up 1 or 2 characters that do some elemental damage, and then we'll start working toward making them work. Shit. Okay. Cool. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to play... I usually play Minesweeper as a cooldown after streams, but today we're going to play Temetsi, which is... It's inspired by Minesweeper very clearly, It's just a cool puzzle game. It's designed to break your fucking brain. So I'll be right back, and then we'll play that. Sweeper-ish, sure. Sweeper-like even. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be right back.